Well, hello everybody, and welcome once again to our live chats. Here we are in August, and this is this is the fourth Sunday. We usually do those we do them either the third or fourth Sunday. You know that. So as you come in, be sure and let us know you're here. Hey Cheryl, I see you're the first one in. That's good. So, folks, if you will, as you log in, tell us that, say hello to us, and where you're from would be a good idea, so that we can kind of see how the nation is represented in our live chats. That would be a really, really good thing. So I will waste a little time. Yeah, early bird. And there comes Sheila from New York, Westchester. And Renee from Pennsylvania, and that means that things are beginning to gear up now. We always have to wait for the class to come in and get our attendance, at least to the point that we can start rolling. So while I'm waiting for folks to join us, just reminding everybody how a few things are going on. First of all, if you haven't done so already, if you don't know about it already, check out our new Substack page. We have centralized everything we do on Substack, and to get there, you just go to Substack. No, you don't do that. To get there, you go to Dianne Mize, that's Dianne with two N's, all one word, diannemize.substack.com. And so we have everything centralized there now, where you can see everything we do. We've got everything archived, so you can go back and visit former videos, former posts that I do on Saturdays, and also you can log on to our academy and to the regular website and to my website, all right there on Substack. So we're really, really proud of that. It's becoming a really, really easy way to keep everything centralized. And so check it out. Check it out. It just looks kind of impressive when you see what all we're doing. Okay, so who else has come in? There's Judy from New Orleans and Carol from San Diego. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. So how this works, no, what else are we doing before I get to how this works? What else are we doing? Right now we have our August course up on our academy at half price. In case you don't know, we put a new course on the academy every month. And when we introduce the course during that month, we introduce it at half price, and that seems to be a real popular thing with everybody, to be able to get a new course at half price. Then at the end of that month, that one goes back to regular price, and the next new one comes up at half price. We also have there with them a little video clip that you can view to get kind of a taste of what the course is going to be about and how it's going to roll. So you might check that out. We don't have many days left in August, so to get advantage of the one we have up now, the new one is Overcast Light, which is a lot of fun. People don't get too excited about Overcast, but you can do some exciting things with it. So you might check that out. And let's see, while I was talking that time, Margaret came in, and Margaret's taking our academy courses. And Fiona from the UK, welcome Fiona. Glad to have our friends from the UK with us. So let's see now how this works, how the chats work. We always like to have every chat centralized around a topic, a specific topic that we can kind of delve into and get to understand, so to make it really, really easy for you to work with. And that's the whole point of these anyways, to make the things that we do to make paintings better, simple for you to work with. Give you some ways to go about it where you don't have to memorize a whole bunch of rules. As you know by now, I'm not a big fan of rules of any kind, never have been. And so I've kind of made it my mission, you might say. All these things we call principles, I like to break them down. I think of them as workhorses, not something we try to make our paintings adhere to, but things that we use to make work for us as we're making our paintings. And that's what today's is about too. And see, there's D. Carter from Nova Scotia. Welcome. So I love it when we reach outside the U.S. Okay, what was where I was? Oh, yes. So what we'd like to do is when we get these chats started, after everybody, our pretty good representation of the group gets in and settled down, we always play a short video. I make a short video for you, especially for these chats, where I go through and explain, I hope in a logical and easy to understand way, how a principle works. And the one we're addressing today is foreshortening. That's one that has given people headaches, especially emerging artists. The foreshortening concept gives you headaches all the way through. And so I'm trying today to show you a way that you can approach foreshortening where you don't have to memorize any rules. You don't have to worry about this or that or the other. You just do 3 little things and you can make foreshortening happen. So we'll get that started in just a few minutes. So that's how we do that. And then I like very much for you to kind of save your questions until the end of the video so you can give attention to the video rather than the chat box. So if a question occurs to you, jot it down, and then once the video is done, we'll have a question session. You ask the questions, and I ramble on for a while about with my answers, how I see that a question might be answered in a way that is easy for you to understand. So, there's one other thing too. If you've logged on, I see we have folks coming, a number of folks coming in now. If you've logged on and you don't see a place for you to chat, I don't know what kind of message it's giving you. We control the traffic by having the chat available to the members, the Studio Insider members. That's a way of controlling the chat to be able to see the questions as they come up, because when we first started these, we had that chat box open to everybody, and the questions went through so fast, Roger couldn't grab them, couldn't keep up with it, so we decided to do it this way. So if you, to be a member, it's not just to be able to ask questions during the chats, it's got some other, I started to say side effects, but that's not exactly it. It's got some other perks too. One is that each month we give you a coupon number that you can use to get a free video lesson from the lessons website. That's at DianneMize.com, that you can access from the Substack page. And so every month, as long as you're a member, you continue to get a free lesson every month. Then every second Sunday, is that right?
Yeah.
I get confused about when we do those things. Every second Sunday Roger sends you a little tip. A video tip is just enough to whet your appetite about a concept. And then either the third or the fourth Sunday we have these chats. That's for everybody. And of course, when you're a member, you can ask questions during the chat. And also converse with your buddies in the chat room. Is that what we call that little box that everybody makes their chats in? I think so. So I think we have probably enough people here to get started, at least start things rolling. So Roger, are you ready with the video?
I am ready.
Okay, here's your video about foreshortening, and I'll see you on the other side. Did you know that the word foreshortening is just a long word for labeling something you can't see? Then why am I using the word seeing as the title word for this topic? Well, let's start here. What in this image can you not see, but that you know for certain is there? What about the roundness of those wheels? We know they're round, but we don't see them as round. And what about the length of the tractor's hood? We know it's longer than the front, but we don't see it longer. Watch how we see the length of this butterfly's wing get shorter as it falls away from us, then get longer as it turns towards us. Yet we know it's not really changing size, but we see its size change. So the visual element size is one thing we see change, but there's one more thing we see change too, and that's the angle of the wing's edges. So to be able to see and draw or paint foreshortening, we first look at the edges, then we look for the length of those edges, the angle of those edges, and their location in relation to the rest of the image. Because of the way our eyes work, we see images foreshortened everywhere we look all day long. But because of what we know about images, the knowledge itself can often interfere with the way our eyes are actually seeing shapes from our particular viewpoint. So for that reason, we often are not even aware of what we can't see. And no rule is going to help us to see it. Knowing how to look will help us to see it. And in this particular instance, we know that when we learn to look for edges, the length of those edges, the angle of those edges, and their location in relation to the image, we will automatically draw or paint foreshortening of that image. So I'm going to take you through a little exercise here to show you how we can do that. I have 3 different positions of the butterfly. For each of these, we'll take the same part of the wing and first find its location, then its length, then its angle. Then we'll compare each. So here we go. Here's the part of the wing that we're going to be looking at. Now the location for each of these positions is going to be the same. We're going to find the location of where the wing joins the body right here, where the wing turns the angle. So each time an angle changes, we'll have a different length. And then we'll take it from where it changes angles from here to here. Perhaps I should say each angle takes its own length, because sometimes those lengths might be the same, so they might not always be different. Now that I've cleared that up, from this location to this location, we have this length. From this location to this location, we have this length. From this location to back to this location, we have this length. Now let's go to the second view. Location is going to be the same for all 3, remember I said. So here, here, and here are the locations. When I say location, remember I'm talking about the points at which I should say either connects to another shape or changes angles. That's a better way to say it, to be clearer. So we'll use blue, the color blue, to indicate these. So from here to here, we have this length. From here to here, we have this length. And from here to here, we have this length. Now let's look at this view. So once again, the same locations. And we begin with the first one. From here to here, we have this length. Now here is the part of the wing, this part of the wing connected to this part. It's a little bit difficult to see, but remember from the other views, we have two parts back there. So this is the part we're actually looking at for our comparison. Then we have something different going on in the next length, and that is we have an angle change right there. So for the first part of that angle, this is the length, and for the second part of that angle, this is the length. And then, of course, from angle change here back to where it connects with the body there, we have this length. Now let's go back to our first image, our first position of the butterfly here, and use it with which to compare the lengths of all three of those edges. So our first edge, which is this one, this is the length. Our second butterfly had the same edge at this length, so that bit of change in position caused us to see it a little longer. And then our third one had this length. And you can see with each position, that particular connection, that particular edge, changed lengths from shorter here, a little longer there, to a little longer there. Now let's compare our second edge, which is this one right here. So the length that we found in that edge is this for our first image. The length of this is this for our second image. Very much the same. We don't really see the lengths change there. And then for our third image, the edge of our third image, we had two lengths at that edge. We had that length and that length. And you see, you put those lengths together, that the distance is even shorter than the other two lengths. That's the comparison for that edge. Now let's compare the lengths of the third edge. This edge, the same edge of all three positions. And of course the first one was this. The second edge, or the second position of that same edge is this. Not maybe just a little bit longer, about the same. And then the third was this, which was even a little bit longer. So you see there that the lengths of those three edges, with every position we looked at, the length changed at least on one edge. Sometimes it changed on all three. So that's just a little bit of a breakdown there to show you how we can look and what we can look for. Now for finding the angle changes of those edges, let's refer to the clock. The numbers on the clock indicate or can indicate every single angle we see. Every single angle we see is either aligned with one of the numbers on the clock or between two numbers on the clock. Really easy way to read angles. So let's take our first image and the first edge. And that is this edge. Now we go back to the clock and we just move the clock around, and you see right there, that is almost a perfect 7 o'clock angle. You see the angle is tilted towards 7. It's also tilted towards 1 because 7 and 1 are the same angle. And we can see without bringing up the line that the second edge we looked at on this image is a 3 o'clock angle. And let's just find the angle of the third edge without bringing up the line. And there's one that's between the numbers. And here's the second image, and let's see what we can find on this one. Let's go to our first edge and see where we can find it. And there it is again. It pretty much, the edge shortened. It shortened, but it stayed pretty much on that same 7 o'clock angle. Sometimes we'll see an angle change when the position changes. We'll see an angle change but get shorter. Sometimes we'll see an angle get longer. Sometimes we'll see it stay the same. So there's the angle there. And we can see the back side stays at 3 o'clock. And you see that this, from here to here, that longer side, let's bring it right down. It has a curve, a slight curve in it. And this is where we start looking for that. Taking into account, we have those general edges, the length of the edges, which is what we're looking at before. But then when we go from one intersection or connection or location of an edge to another, to both ends of it, sometimes we'll see curve, but we look for the angle first and then the curve. And you see in this one how the angle is at 2 right here, and just it curves down. It curves more towards towards between 8 and 9. So here is our analysis without the photos. And this is the way you can learn to see foreshortening without any rules whatsoever. We'll pause here now and let you ask your questions. Okay, I'm ready for your questions now. Anything in there stimulate questions? I might say while I'm waiting for your questions to come in that if you would like a copy of this clock, we have one free for you over at DianneMize.com. If you will go there and click and look in the menu, you'll see free stuff. And click on the free stuff and cursor around in there until you find Dianne's Perspective Clock. Add it to your cart as if you were making a purchase, and just go right through the process of going to the cart to the checkout, and then you will get an email that will have a link, which is a PDF. You click on that link and a PDF will come up like this, and you can print it. Now, you can also do something else which you might find very useful, and that is they have these transparencies that can be run through your printer, available on in office supply stores and on Amazon too. So see, you can print a transparency, and you can use that print transparency with photographs, or actually you can use it when you're working in plein air, or when you're working from a model or whatever. You can use that transparency. I want to point out to you that when you do use a transparency in plein air or whatever, always keep 9 and 6 absolutely horizontal. So, what?
9 and 3.
Huh?
9 and 3.
What did I say?
9 and 6.
Oh, dadgummit. 9 and 3. 9 and 3. Yeah, keep an eye on me, Roger. You know, you can't trust me sometimes. 9 and 3. Yeah, those are the absolute horizontals. And so you don't twist the clock like that, because you'll get your wrong reading of the angle. Or you could have it like 12 and 6 is absolutely vertical, you know. So either make sure you have 12 and 6 vertical and 9 and 3 horizontal. If you've got one, you got the other. So that's for you. If you'd like to have a copy of that, just go ahead and get it. Now I see Cheryl popped up with a question. It is interesting how our brains don't like foreshortening. You're right, they don't like foreshortening. It's a struggle to override the tendency to let the brain control the hand. That's the reason it's a good idea to give your brain something else to think about. And all these little tricks I show you or talk about are in the chats and workshops and the Saturday post I send you, things like that. ways to get your brain diverted from thinking about what it is. When your brain's resistance against things like foreshortening and other things having to do with perspective, especially. That if you're thinking in terms of how long is that or what angle is it, that gives your brain the right thing to think about and gives you your brain inform your eyes then of the right thing to think about. It's your eyes then guide your hand. Your hand just follows your eyes' instructions. And if your brain, I should say your hand follows your brain's instructions. If your brain's giving your eye the wrong message, or if your brain is overriding your eye and trying to make you think you see something one way when you really see it another, your hand's going to do what your brain tells it to do. So if you find ways to give the brain the right thing to think about instead of letting the brain just take over and decide for you what you're seeing, politics will do that to us, try to take over and tell us what we're seeing instead of what we really know we're seeing. We don't go there, but anyway, it just entered my brain. My brain took over that time. Anyway, that's the key. Is the key to seeing. It's the key to drawing, being able to draw what your eye is actually seeing rather than what your brain is thinking. And actually, it's the key to making drawing fun. If your drawing's fun, then painting can be fun, because painting is more than just pushing paint and coloring in and that sort of thing. Painting requires that we have a good drawing to work with as well. So all those things work together. It's just a matter of how we deal with informing the brain or training the brain to think in the right way or to look for the right thing. So that's a good point there, Cheryl. It really works that way. Okay, and now when drawing a figure and a body part, when a figure and a body part is severely foreshortened, will the brain of the viewer automatically accept the foreshortening, or will the viewer look at the drawn figure in disbelief? Wait a minute. Are you saying when drawing a figure, if it's foreshortened in a way that the eye is accustomed to seeing it, if I understand the question correctly there, if you do a drawing that's foreshortened, if it's extreme foreshortened, if it's foreshortened in the way that the eye is accustomed to seeing it, it will look right. And people will want to tell you how talented you are. And the reverse of that is, if it's extremely foreshortened, if you look at it in terms of the angles and the length of those angles, and which way they're tilted in the length, and where they're connected, that's giving your brain the right message, and then that will enable you, if you can hang on to it and not let the brain override your eye there, you will draw it at that, whatever that extreme foreshortening is. So I don't know I hope I answered your question correctly, Cheryl. Sheila says, when dealing with foreshortening for something circular, like the wheel of a tractor, using the clock would create multiple small angles around and get the right circumference. Yes, I'm glad you asked that, Sheila. I didn't talk about the circle. I didn't want to. That would have made the video about 5-10 minutes longer. But we have, think about it like this. We really have only one, really two kinds of edges, the straight and the circular. And we have only, we have those, some of you who have taken courses with me know what I'm about to say here. It's the combination of straight and circular that gives us the images that we see. We see those images because of the combination of an edge that is straight or circular. I should say a line or an edge that's either straight or circular. Then the direction in which it's going, we have vertical, horizontal, diagonal. That's it. and circular. But the circular includes all three of the vertical, horizontal, and diagonal. We have multiple diagonals, but they're all still diagonals. And that's the reason the clock's really, really good. So if you have a circle, then that circle is a sequence of little changes in direction as it goes around, as it moves around. It's just a sequence of change in direction. And then the corners of those get smoothed out and it can become a circle. And you've seen those diagrams, I'm sure, of planes on well, if you haven't seen them, just Google diagram of planes, planes. It'll probably show you airplanes, because Mr. Google doesn't know the difference between a plane in vision or in the structure, in the structural world, and an airplane. I've tried it. I always get airplanes coming up when I'm trying to find something of Mr. Google, trying to get some information about planes. Yeah, I get the airplane. So anyway, so that's the way it works. And just if you're looking, when you're looking at something that is really, really an oval shape, like the tractor wheel, for example, we know it's round, but when we're looking at it foreshortened, depending on how it's turned away from our eyes, it's things that turn away from our eye that get foreshortened. You see my hand there? Well, you know the palm of my hand is there, but you don't see it, right? That's what I'm talking about when I say that foreshortening describes something that we know is there, but we don't see. But then if I turn my hand very slightly like that, you see a very shortened from the edge of my fingers from one side to the other. You see it very, very shortened. You see that? Well, an oval does the same thing. So an oval, as it turns like this, the more either our viewpoint or its viewpoint, more if it's turning, if the wheel is turning like this, and if we are facing the side of the wheel, we'll see it as circular. But then when that wheel turns, it starts getting foreshortened, and then we begin to see it shorter and shorter from one edge, one vertical edge to the other. Horizontally, I should say. The vertical don't change in size when something is circular like that. If it turns like that, the vertical doesn't change in size. But what does change in size is from this edge to this edge. So that's the way that works. Okay, Roger's got something here for me to show you more realistically. All right, so if you take the bottom of this candle, let's see if I can get it closer to the camera there. Okay, so the bottom of that camera. Now you see, if I've got it to turn, there we go. If I got it turned that way, all you see is you see a straight line. You think you see a circle. Well, if I turn it this way, you begin to see. But so you see, start seeing a straight line. Then if I begin to kind of tilt it a little bit, so you see just a little bit of this side, you see what happens? The distance does not change between here and here, but it changes drastically between this side and this side. And then the more I turn it toward you see more and more, and therefore the distance is gets greater between here and here as I turn this more and more toward you until I turn it toward you and you see the full circle. And same thing happens when we change our position. If we're looking at something that's round, that's flat. Now if it's something that is like a ball or something like that, we're not going to see that change because it's round in three-dimensional. But when we see something that's round in kind of a more two-dimensional, that's what happens. So let's see. Cheryl, makes sense. It is related to what we expect. Yes, it is. It's always related. We learn to expect. That's why I say don't expect anything. If you can enter your study of images or for a drawing or for a painting, don't expect anything, but go at it as if you've never seen it before and start discovering Just these characteristics. There are all kinds of characteristics that we can study, but since we're talking about foreshortening, let's just study these characteristics. Go around the world, around your environments. You've got foreshortening all around you. I don't care where you are right now. Unless you're in a dark room, you can't see anything. Somebody's locked you up some way, and you know. But but if you've got if you have any light available to you whatsoever, wherever you are, you will see foreshortening. You're going to see foreshortening somewhere, somehow. And so start looking for foreshortening. Start looking for, it's always when a plane moves, is turned away from you, or when your eyes are turned away from the plane. Like if you turn your head like this, you're going to see things differently. Or if you turn your whole body, you're going to see those planes change. You're going to see the foreshortening of those planes change. That's why I stressed edges. An edge is what creates a shape. Shapes are created by edges. And then when we look for those edges of where the edge is connected maybe to another edge, or where an edge changes angles, those are the magic spots where we look to discover what's happening. Just discover what's happening. And so we don't expect anything. We just say, I wonder what's happening. I wonder how long or short that distance is between where this starts and where it ends, or where this angle starts and where this angle ends. The angles of shapes. And it really is a lot of fun once you start retraining yourself about how to look for things. You'll begin to discover that you really can draw anything you're looking at. You just need to look at it in the way that you inform your that your eyes are informing your brain what you see, rather than the other way around, which is so. Now, Cheryl, do we see foreshortening the same if an object is close to us, or does the aerial perspective change it? The aerial perspective doesn't change it unless it obscures it completely. The distance doesn't matter so much as long as the distance doesn't change our position. Now, sometimes a distant thing will change. For example, if I'm looking directly at you, and you're way over on the other, you could be way, maybe say on a football field, you could be on the other end of the football field. Well, just by the very fact that you are so far away, there'll be certain, I won't be able to see fully the shapes in with the same clarity that I can see them when you're closer to me. But those angles don't change as long as I don't change, as long as you don't change. But say if you're looking down a road, and there, what would you be looking at? A tractor going down a road, maybe. But if the road's curved and the tractor turns, yeah, the angles are going to change. But if the road's straight and the tractor is going straight and you're staying in position where you are, then it doesn't change. It gets smaller and reach a point where maybe it goes into the fog, you can't see it anymore or whatever. But as far as the foreshortening of it is concerned, no, it won't. It shouldn't change. If anybody wants to prove me wrong on that, have an experience and you can prove me wrong. So far, I haven't found anything to prove me wrong on that. I keep looking for this stuff. I've been looking for it for quite a while now. So let's see. Okay, I answered Cheryl's question there about the foreshortening. So angle, length, and location will give us info we need. Yes, it will. Angle, length, and location. What's odd about that? What's interesting about that? Not odd, but what's interesting about that is when we compare. Now, say if we're looking just for the length, for example, just how the lengths are changing. Notice I made those lengths in straight lines. It doesn't. And so a length is measured in a straight line. It's not measured in a curve. Then it becomes a different length. So that's the reason I use only straight lines when I was talking just about length. So if you're looking at the length, then look at the next length and compare the two. And that comparison, and you just compare it visually. Is it longer? Is it shorter? How much longer? How much shorter? That's all. And yes, it will. If you connect the locations, you get the angle, you get the length, it will give you the foreshortening. It's just a magic thing that happens. I got really interested while I was doing this. I said, I wonder how other people are teaching foreshortening. I think I'll go see what Mr. Google says. So I Googled, what did I Google? Foreshortening and painting. Oh my goodness, all the theory. Yeah, the same theory I was taught when I was in art school. And it was just as confusing to me when I was in art. I mean, now, if I didn't know any better than it was then. We shouldn't have to figure that stuff out. We need to just learn, need to be taught what to look for. And the theory, yeah, once you learn what to look for, the theory starts making sense. But we shouldn't have to figure those things out for ourselves. Our teachers should teach us how to look for those things. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to fulfill my obligation to you as my student. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. Any other questions about the whole foreshortening concept and how? I bet you can't wait, can you, now to go check this stuff out and see how it really works. And if if you don't have, well, you're going to be able to check out foreshortening in whatever your environment you're in. But one really good way to study foreshortening, if you need to depend upon the photographs or whatever, is to go and go to Pixabay, but even better still, we've all got phones that take videos. Find something that you can, something that's moving. Like I love I love finding the butterfly there. I found that on Pixabay. But I love that because I was able to show you as the butterfly changed, I was able to show you how those angles and sizes changed too. So, but here's a really, really good way to study foreshortening is to find something that is moving or something that you can move around. You move around, your own car or a wagon or anything that has, has the circular wheels. I mean, all wheels are circular, except those people that tried to invent square wheels, but we won't go there. Anyway, I saw that on Shark Tank. If you will just move yourself around an image and just video it as you move around it, and then as you're watching the video, pause it and study the foreshortening. Then let it go maybe a frame or two more and pause it again and study the foreshortening again, like I was doing here, and that way, and keep doing that, and you'll see how that foreshortening changes. And you'll see places like, you'll see where it doesn't change, like as long as you've got the same vertical, if the images, if you're only turning like this, and everything in the vertical position, if it stays pretty much the same, you'll see that there'll be certain angles that will stay the same, lengths that will stay stay the same, and the others that will change in size. The lengths will change in size, the angles will change in tilt, and it's just so much fun to do, and it's a wonderful way to study. Using videos that way is a wonderful way to study a lot of the concepts that we deal with, a lot of the issues, I should say, that we deal with when we're drawing and when we're painting. Oh my goodness, Hugh has sent us 20 gift memberships. Wow, thank you, Hugh. Wow. I hope you people who are receiving those enjoy and get as much benefit from them as the folks that are already with us get. All right, let's see, Judy. Was there another one before Judy, or is that? No, okay. Judy says, I have problems with perspective. I think this will help me tremendously in seeing. Oh yes, Judy, it will. You will be surprised. It will just, it's just like a revelation to you. Once you once you can change your viewpoint away from the image and towards what it's made of. I say that often. And what I mean by what it's made of is just those things I've been describing. Because all images have edges, and all edges have links, and all edges have angles, no matter where you look. And those are the things, among other things too, but those are some of the major ingredients that make up the way we see images, regardless of how they're turning away from us or regardless of how we are turning away from the image itself. So let's see. Oh yeah, Hugh's getting thanks for the memberships. Yes, indeed. We really appreciate that. So those are great things. And also, I think you will find, if the clock concept is a new one for you, I think you will find it very, very helpful in helping you to see angles. Because sometimes we think we'll see the angle, or we'll register the angle, but by the time we get to the drawing, it goes in another direction. But it's a matter of not just looking at where the what we call the hand of the clock, not thinking about the hand of the clock, but thinking about where the number is located on an analog clock, and where that number is located, it indicates an angle. So like we know that the number 9 is indicating a horizontal angle, as is the number 3, and the number 12 is indicating a vertical, and number 6 is indicating a vertical. And one of my students told me recently that she never could draw a straight line until she started associating it with an angle. But if she registers where 12 is on the clock, and she starts at a point on her paper, and she thinks about where 12 is the clock, hand just goes there, or 6. And now she can draw a straight line because she can aim towards something. She has something to aim towards. It's just like a baseball pitcher has something to aim towards when throwing the baseball. So every angle in the world, every angle you'll ever see will be located somewhere on that clock. It may be right on the number. It might be going right towards the number, or it might be going a little above the number, might be going between two numbers. And you don't have to be really, really precise. If you get it in the general neighborhood, usually it's going to work out pretty good for you. Cheryl says, again, the hardest part for me is not let the brain tell me what I'm supposed to be looking at. So if I could just focus on angle, length, and location as a mantra, good idea, mantra. Make it a mantra. That's a good idea, Cheryl. Angle, length, location. Angle, length, location. It is. I keep going back to that. What I call the image trap. And if you've been subscribed to my mailing list for some time now, you've seen me address it before, or in other videos I've addressed it before. What I call the image trap. When our brains are so tightly latched to images that it tries to tell us what we're seeing, and it gets in the way of what our eyes are actually seeing. Our eyes are seeing it. We don't have to worry about that. But it's that brain, what that brain's doing is makes our hand go in the wrong place. So I already went through that, so I won't go through that again. I mean, I'm already a little bit too repetitive as it is. Cheryl, oh, you already got that one, didn't I? Angle, length, and yeah. There's some other little exercises too that are not related to foreshortening directly, but the foreshortening can be a benefit from, and that is to do gesture drawing, where you're drawing where the movement is going rather than the thing itself. Now, I know a lot of people, when I'm going for what a lot of people do, I'm just going to tell you my experience with gesture drawing. If for example, if I'm drawing something, I guess just simple. Let me just get Roger's candle again. So if I'm doing a gesture drawing of this candle, and if I say it's moving up, and if my brain is registering moving up, if it's moving straight up, if my brain is registering 12, if I'm moving up a gesture, I can go from 12 to 6 to 12 again, 12 to 6, and so on. And doing the gesture of where it's going, what is it doing. I often speak of visual images as what are they doing? What are the edges doing? And sometimes the edge can be falling, sometimes it can be rising, and you don't even have to. It's not a good idea to get to label and then do, but to identify as you're moving your hand in the direction of an edge on an image. Identify where is it going, what's it doing. Is it circling? Is it pointing? Is it these sorts of things where the doing can be something that happens on the paper, and that also can help the drawing that you do as where you're exploring foreshortening can help that drawing to be alive, because it's the doing in edges, especially when we're drawing, it's how we're moving our pencil in the direction or according to what that edge is doing. That's what creates drawings that are alive. You can look at Michelangelo's drawings or Rembrandt's drawings. We have so many of Rembrandt's drawings still. Michelangelo, little brat, burned so many of his because he didn't want to be copied or whatever, but I could just bump him for that, but I can't do that. Anyway, still the drawings that we have of Michelangelo, they're so fluid, even when when we see the accuracy there. But getting a likeness is not the right intent. So many people are just trying to get a likeness. That's a wrong motive. But when you're looking for angles, edges, size, what is it doing? Where is it going? Where is the edge going? And that sort of thing, then the likeness will be there. It's a payoff of looking at it in a way that's going to inform your hand what your eye is actually seeing. So there's just another big payoff of going at things, not trying to make the image look like the image. That's what likeness means, trying to get likeness. Not just making the image trying to look like the image, but looking for what's causing it to appear that way. And the things that are causing it to appear the way are that are causing it to appear the way. That then will enable you to get the likeness when you allow your hand the freedom to do that. So I seem like I'm rambling, but it's all related. It really is all related. So if you don't, if gesture drawing is a new concept to you, we have several quick tips on gesture drawing, don't we, Roger? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have several quick tips on. From time to time, we've been doing this. How long have we been doing this thing? About 10, 15 years? How long have we?
About 11.
We've been doing it about 11 years?
11, yeah.
Is that how long we've been doing this?
The quick tips. And
the quick tips?
No, the original videos is probably 12 or 13.
Well, we've been doing it quite a while. More than a decade, right? And so from time to time, during that time, we've 60-something quick tips right now.
Yeah, 556.
From time to time, I have worked in a gesture drawing quick tip for one reason or another. I think it's one of the most important things that we can learn to do, because it makes the other things easy for us. It all relates. They're all tied together. But you go to our YouTube page in the studio art instruction. YouTube page there, and then in the menu click on videos, and then you'll see a little one of those little search icons. Click on that and type in gesture or gesture drawing, and all the videos we have, all the quick tips we've made on gesture drawing, then will come up. Look at those and actually practice them. I know a lot of people look at these videos as just entertainment, but it doesn't do you a dadgum bit of good if you don't practice it to try to learn that skill I'm trying to teach you. Okay, now let's see. Did I put everybody to sleep? Let's see. Well, we've got about 5 more minutes left. Any other question? Is everybody sort of just absorbing it now and kind of waiting for me to shut my mouth and log off so you can go practice it? I know that's exactly what's happening, without a doubt. Yeah, Roger?
I know of, they were talking about how the brain wants to control what your hand's doing and all. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing images where something's missing, but your brain will automatically fill it in.
Yeah,
So it's not what you're looking at, it's what you think you're looking at.
what you think you're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also that closure factor, which is very akin to what you're saying there. If you have the other information there, then your brain cues it in.
Uh-huh.
Right. If the other information is missing, the brain tries to take over and tells you what to expect. Well, we ought to have a little course in psychology. Is that the right thing, or is it more philosophy? Or what is it?
It's a little of both.
A little bit of both, philosophy, psychology, and philosophy and psychology in drawing. No, well, I guess it's part of all of that. So it's all one thing. It's all good. So while I've got all of you here, let me remind you one more time. We just had a small group before. When we got started, when I said this before, but remind you one more time that every month we put up a new course on our academy. It's DianneMizeAcademy.com. Every time you look for something associated with my name, it has 2 N's in it. Don't forget that. So DianneMizeAcademy.com. We have there. How many courses we have there now? Up to nearly 50, I guess. I don't know. I can't remember how many courses we have there now. These are full-length courses. You can study at your own pace. The Academy guides you through them. And these courses grow out of these monthly workshops I teach. Every month I teach a workshop. I limit it to 15 people. It's an online workshop. And then 3 months later, we convert that into a course that we make available on the Academy so that it's there forever. Well, I hope forever. I mean, I don't know what's going to be there 200 years from now, reckon, you think?
Could be.
I don't know. We have libraries now where books were written 200 years ago. So I don't know what's going to happen to this internet thing. But nevertheless, for as long as the internet survives, the courses will be there. So every month, as I said before, we put up a new course. We make it available at half price during the month that we put it up. And this month, we have the course on Overcast Light, which I think is a very exciting thing. I've seen some beautiful paintings done in Overcast Light. Among some of Richard Schmid's paintings, some of his most exciting paintings were done in Overcast Light. So Overcast is not something to turn our noses up and say it's not interesting enough, it's too dull. You don't have to be that way. You can make it interesting. Anyway, so the course is on Overcast Light is up for the rest of this month. This is August, if you didn't know. And then September we'll put up another one, a new one. And then Overcast Light will go back to regular price. And we do this every month. New course, half price for that entire month. So it might be a good time to check out our courses if you haven't already. We'd be happy for you to do that. And also, those of you who are listening but are not members yet, you might consider just try us out for a month or so as a studio insider, because studio insiders are the ones that ask questions. The way we do that in order to be able to keep up with the questions. The studio insiders ask the question. Anybody can watch the monthly chats we do, but the studio insiders ask the question. It's only $4.99 a month, and you just click the join button. You should see it there somewhere on your screen. Click that join button and sign up. And then if you don't like it, sign off. Cancel at any time. Probably we wouldn't be too happy, but it's not about making us happy. It's about what you enjoy. So, okay, folks.
Fiona has said, thanks for reinforcing the importance of drawing.
Oh, Fiona, I'm sorry I quit looking at the screen. I missed your comment there. Well, my pleasure. Just keep enjoying. And then Margaret said, when will this be available? See you again as soon as it's over. 1 minute.
It takes them 10 or 15 minutes
Okay.
to render it.
Roger just corrected me, Margaret. It's in about 15 or 20 minutes when we sign off. This will be on our YouTube channel. If you once again, when you go to the channel page, click on live. Click on live in the menu, and that's where all our YouTube chats are. Yes, indeed. Okay, and Cheryl says thank you so much, and it's our pleasure. And we will see you Wednesday at the workshop. And we will see Margaret, and we will see, who else was I say? Oh, Sheila. Who else do I see is going to be in the workshop? Well, never mind, we'll see you. Those of you who are signed up for this month's workshop, we'll see you Wednesday at the workshop. It's going to be a good one. So thank all of you. Thanks to you all for joining us. We'll have another chat ready for you next month. That's going to be on the 3rd Sunday, isn't it? In September?
TBA.
Okay, TBA, we'll announce. We'll let you know ahead of time whether it's going to be on the 3rd or the 4th. We do like our flexibility. And Fiona says, thanks. Have a great week. And all of you have a great week too. And we hope to see you next month. Meanwhile, bye-bye for now.